What's better than a beautiful orchid? One that you can get to bloom again. I'm Gigi and I'm going to show you how. We're going to be repotting this beautiful orchid. You can see that it's lost a few of its leaves and it's now time to repot it. So here are a few of the items that you're going to need. You are going to need basically a coarse blend potting mix. You are going to need a good quality orchid food, good pair of scissors, something to hold the orchid food and water in, and then of course you're going to need the orchid. This orchid just dropped its leaves about a week ago and it's time to transplant. Manufacturers and florists, when they are growing these plants, they will put them in a very inexpensive medium that allows them to ship easily, but the problem is it holds too much moisture. After you've carefully removed most of the potting mixture, you're going to want to cut these dead stems. They're not necessary anymore, and they impede growth. The first time I transplant an orchid that's been given to me, I know that I don't have to put it into a bigger vessel because I know it's really going to have a lot of root rot. So you'll see how much smaller this is compared to how it was when we first started. So I'm going to go ahead then and snip off any more of the parts that we don't need. So I'm going to use the same vessel it came in. These are usually pretty great. I like using the plastic versus terracotta because it's a little bit lighter and it doesn't allow as much moisture to go through. I want to fill it about a quarter of the way, an eighth of the way, to give the plant plenty of stability. And we're just going to pop the coarse blend around it and tuck that in as you go. Be sure to get underneath the side leaves. People forget that. By adding more of this coarse blend to the underside, you're actually giving the plant more stability. Be mindful of the fact that as you are putting the coarse blend around the plant, that you get it as upright, straight as possible. There we go. Completely potted. So now what we're going to do is we're going to trim the top or the stem of the orchid. You'll see these little nodules here. These actually most likely will become new stems to produce more buds. So in this case, cut just above this nodule on an angle. You'll see that. And then here on this side, what I'm going to do is this right here is a little bit long. I don't see any good nodules, but I do see one right here. So I'm going to cut on an angle, just like that. Very stable plant. I'm really excited about it. And what I'm going to do now is I am going to start to train the stems again to be sure that they stay upright. So I'm going to take the clips again. I'm going to clip them directly to the rods that these came with. Be careful not to clip around the nodules. So you want to be clipping around them, but you want to give them room to breathe. Now let me show you how to take care of them from here. To the water, I am going to add some of my orchid food, and I'm going to add about a half a teaspoon. I'm going to give it a shake. So to me, this is the magical part. I wish somebody would have taught this to me years ago. When you're watering your orchid, you want to make sure to get the stems, both the stems really well. You want to water all around the orchid. You want to get inside the orchid. A lot of people say that you shouldn't do it, but I've had lots and lots of luck by doing it this way. Now that the orchid's fully drained, I'm going to go ahead and put it in this beautiful ceramic pot, and I'm going to put it in an either east or west facing window. It doesn't like direct sunlight, and before you know it, you're going to have some big, beautiful blooms.